This recipe is one that Trent discovered that is absolutely awesome. So this is a whole wheat bread. It's really easy to put together. There's no kneading from the Eat Plant-Based website, and very, very straightforward. So basically, he's going to start by prepping the yeast. 2 cups of warm water. Make sure it's not too hot. Test it on the inside of your arm like you would a baby's bottle. Then you want between 1 and 3 tablespoons of maple or date syrup and 1 packet or 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast. So Trent's using 3 tablespoons, 2-ish tablespoons of maple syrup. And we've got 1 packet of yeast. Now this needs to sit for 5 to 10 minutes to allow the yeast to activate. So we're going to stir that up, make sure all those yeast, that all that dry yeast has gotten wet with the liquid. And we'll come back in a few minutes when it's bloomed. So we have allowed the yeast to bloom for 10 minutes. And now we have got 4 cups of whole wheat flour. You can sift it if you want. We are just not going to take the time to do that. The recipe calls for salt as well, but you don't have to include it. Salt does nothing but add salt. So really very simple recipe. The yeast mixture into the whole wheat flour and stir. Again, you don't have to knead this. It makes one perfect loaf. So just combine that really, really well. It is going to appear just a little bit dry and crumbly on the top, but we really like that because you get little crispy edges on top. If you want a smoother top, less dry, then you could do an aquafaba wash. So just take your any kind of white beans, chickpeas, navy beans, great white beans, whatever kind of white bean you have, and use that bean water to brush the top like you would an egg wash. So you'll see that it looks a little bit dry and crumbly. It comes together beautifully, and then it just has a crumbly top, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, if you wanted to smooth that out, you could do that with a little aquafaba, but we love it just like this. Absolutely gorgeous. Right out of the oven, so good. So now that you've mixed it up and put it in your parchment lined loaf pan, that has got to sit for another 30 minutes. So you'll want to cover it with a towel like you did with the yeast, leave it to sit for 30 minutes somewhere nice and warm. So don't forget to preheat your oven a few minutes before that 30 minutes has passed. That's been allowed to rise for 30 minutes. The oven is preheated at 350 and it goes in to bake for
30 minutes.
30 minutes.